Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Alchemy 365 video. Today, we're going to talk chemical manufacturing ERP, mainly the key features you need to look for when you're looking for an ERP if you're a chemical manufacturer. And just a few things I want to highlight before we start. When you're on your search for a chemical manufacturing ERP, there's kind of two different avenues you can go. You can go to a smaller solution built just for chemical manufacturing ERP. Obviously, it has its pros and cons. Or the other option is you can go with like kind of a larger provider, like NetSuite or Microsoft Business Central, which we provide here at Alchemy, and Acumatica, Sage. Um, these these providers have a large partner network. Some partners focus specifically on chemical manufacturing ERP or have solutions just for your industry. Large ISV population as well that can help you out. So you kind of get the best of both worlds: the products you need just for your industry, and then also a larger, provider like Microsoft or NetSuite, Oracle. Obviously, both, whatever way you go, there's pros and cons. But just wanted to make that, aware before you're kind of going on your search. So we're gonna just highlight about 7 or 8 key features to look for that maybe or, aren't in your base product that are specific to chemical manufacturing that you are kind of must-haves for your industry. The first one is very important. It's batch and formula management. We had done a previous video on the difference between process and discrete manufacturing, where we kind of covered some of this. But this is something you need. You're not focused on bombs. You're doing formulas. You need automatic scaling. You need double the batch, potency adjustments. You have raw materials. You need R&D. Production, QA. All that needs to stay in sync. So that's a very key feature that you must have when you're looking for your ERP. Second is a compliance toolkit. Chemical manufacturing ERP compliance is essential. It's not really negotiable. You need to have it just to stay in business and also to stay compliant. So your ERP should be able to crank out SDS docs, print ready GHS labels, log electronic signatures, make sure you're kind of OSHA compliant. So you don't have any spreadsheets or anything like that. So that's a big feature is the compliance toolkit. The next one is built-in quality control. So you look for in-process and final product testing, automatic releases a lot. That keeps you tight, customers happy. So you want built-in quality control as well. The next feature, the fourth one we're going to touch on here, is lot level traceability. So you don't want any recalls, but if you do, you want to be able to track every gram from the receiving dock to the shipping dock. Raw inputs, blends, reworks, everything. You need to pull everything from your ERP as soon as you need it, and it shouldn't take forever to get that type of information. So it's a key feature that you need. Smart inventory and warehouse management is the next one we're going to talk about. So obviously chemicals expire. Some are hazardous when they do expire. The system should support first in, first out logic, barcode scanning, bin locations, all that stuff should have safety zones if certain things are flammable. So your ERP should be able to provide all that for you. The sixth one we're going to touch on is production planning. So any type of downtime in this type of industry is a profit killer. You need visual scheduling, capacity planning. You need to align your raw material availability with your batch calendars, so you don't want to lose any profit. You want everything to ship on time. Keep everything on time there. The seventh feature is EHS monitoring. So environmental, health, and safety features. They track incidents, hazardous waste, emissions. You want everything in the same platform, so your safety team is not running around with all this different paperwork or going through a bunch of different systems to try to get the information they need. So the EHS monitoring is key. Now, the final feature we'll touch on is customer and supplier management. So you want to have supplier scores, customer specific specs, all in one place. You want procurement, sales, and QA, all together, kind of speaking the same language. That's an important feature to have. Now, some of the kind of bonus add-ons that maybe aren't specific to chemical manufacturing that are nice to have: mobile warehousing apps, BI dashboards, so you can get reports and data in seconds. Export it maybe to employees that don't have access to the system or executives that aren't involved. Maybe you have tank readings and that type of stuff as well that are add-ons that are specific to your industry. But all that is kind of as you need it, maybe not essential to get started right away. So how to evaluate when you're going through, the vendor process, the demo process. What do you want to look for? So you don't want, kind of a generic demo that most ERP systems have with the finance, accounting, inventory. Obviously all that is important, but it's not specific to your industry. So you want, a live scenario. You receive raw materials, you scale batch, you run QC, you print a label, you ship it. You want all that. Make sure all that works well with your business. Kind of see everything working in sync. The single source of truth that everyone always talks about in the ERP system. You want to make sure that whatever they provide is aligning to the features that you need for your business. So that part is very important. Basically, you want something that works the way chemical manufacturers work, right? You want something customized to your business without someone going in and doing a bunch of customizations and costing you a ton of money. You want something that's built for your industry, someone that knows the pain points, the solutions, everything you need. So you don't have to have constantly pay for customizations and that type of stuff. But that's the end of our video. Like I said, it was going to be quick. We'll do kind of a series here in chemical manufacturing because that is one of the businesses or types of businesses that we provide for here at Alchemy 365. We have plenty of great chemical manufacturing content on our website. Answer any of your questions from how much you should expect to pay, the key features like we did here, how long implementation is, all that stuff. We have all those answers on our website. We'll also answer them here in some short videos. Subscribe, like if you would like to get alerted for these videos if you're in chemical manufacturing. And thank you, and stay tuned for the next video.